Talking about Destiny.
Destiny?
They have pyramid ships. Technically they're not pyramids. I think they're technically tetrahedrons. But they're the emissaries of like the darkness, which is the opposing the light. And everyone calls them the Dorito ships. Just because they do kind of look like Doritos, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Wait, I totally spaced out for like
in the Destiny 2, the darkness ships, everyone calls them the Doritos. The Dorito ships.
Triangles.
They're like the pyramid ships, and I think they're technically not considered pyramids, but
you know, it's fine, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
You guys ready to do this?
Yeah.
Sure.
Good. Because we're recording.
I know.
I'm so sorry. This is
Maybe you shouldn't do a podcast. Maybe it should just be me and Nolan.
All it's gonna be for me, and I apologize to every single one of the viewers out there. I cannot speak today. But
do not gargle.
Andrew and I had discussed about I think you were there too.
What?
About introducing ourselves more.
What?
Introducing what the podcast name is. And
What?
starting it off with that.
No.
What?
We're a minute in.
No.
We're not introducing it. No, we should. You're right.
Yeah,
Would
yeah,
you
we
like to introduce the thing?
I introduced it like the only other time that we've ever introduced
That's not true. I say welcome to the podcast every time.
Yeah, but you never say the name.
Well, it's on the title of the screen. You
Yeah,
think what? They just randomly happened upon the video?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they're hearing somebody else play it.
Wait, so you mean, okay.
Hey guys, welcome to Clocked Out Creatures, episode 12?
Sure.
12.
Yeah.
12.
I'm Nolan.
I'm Dustin.
I'm Tangi.
What are the chances that they happen to be listening to the beginning, though, and not like 42 minutes in? How about every 5 minutes I'll say the name of the podcast? Does that
This is
sound
Clocked
good?
Out Creatures.
Every 1 minute I'll say the name of the podcast.
Please don't.
It's like
This podcast, this is just Clocked Out Creatures.
It's like the audio jungle thing that you hear. So like every 2 minutes we'll be talking about like Kingdom Hearts and then just like clocked out creatures appears. I don't do that.
Just, hey guys, thanks for tuning in
Stop
to
with
Clocked
the
Out
ASMR
Creatures.
It's not just
Oh
ASMR.
god, no!
Stop.
It's gonna peak.
This is this.
I'm gonna leave this company and never work here again if you continue with this ASMR shit.
Wait, don't do that because we're talking about Star Wars today, Tangi.
What? Star Wars?
I'm so excited.
No one here's here to stop us.
No one can stop us. Not the law, not my dad, no one.
My dad's dead.
Ooh, fight. Sucks, man. Sorry. No, I'm sorry for you,
Wow,
Austin.
that really sucks.
I don't know why now.
Damn,
I don't know why.
sucks,
I
dude.
don't remember why I just thought of it, but there was what game? I can't remember what game it was, but I think there's like a Star Wars part that like there's like the dancing part that everyone was like, why does this exist?
Are you talking about the
The Han Solo dancing or singing or
yeah,
whatnot?
in the Star Wars Kinect, you could do
Yeah,
the
that's
dance
right.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm Solo. I'm Han Solo. Yep.
I remember when that came out, everyone was like, what the hell is this?
God. I think that got popular because of the JonTron video that he did on it. Have you guys ever watched JonTron?
I have not, no.
He's so funny. He's so funny. He was one of the original Game Grumps.
I'm not super familiar with Game Grumps.
I know we were hyping this one up today. We're like, it's going to be the Star Wars Episode 2 podcast or whatever. Not like
then let's
Episode
make
2
it.
of Star Wars, but like, but now that we're here, it's like, I don't even know what to talk about with
Well, I
Star
tried to
Wars.
start it off with the Star Wars Kinect, but you guys just were like, no.
I'm going to talk about Gremlins and Star Wars.
Star Wars.
You guys like Star Wars?
No.
Okay, me neither. Well,
It's not cool anymore, Nolan.
Star Wars is
Well, I haven't seen any like new Star Wars stuff other than like nothing. I mean, there really hasn't been anything that has like popped up Star Wars wise since last time because Mandalorian, the last episode of Mandalorian season 2 was out at that point.
Yeah. What was the last Star Wars thing I watched? The last Star Wars thing I watched was the Star Wars episode on the Muppet Show.
Does it count if it's a TikTok cosplayer?
Sure. Sure. We'll count it.
Since most of my TikToks are just like gaming or like Star Wars and anime, I get a lot of cosplayers.
Yeah. I don't use TikTok. I don't.
Wow, look at you.
I don't.
Way to go. Wow.
I
so,
find myself
so proud.
rolling my eyes at TikTok more than I enjoy it. And that's not like a supremacy thing. It's just like not for me. It's just like I like a lot of stupid things, but like I don't like.
I'm sorry, but
and I'm not saying
censored.
that sounds rude. That sounds like I'm calling TikTok stupid. It's not stupid. It's just not my type of humor.
Fucking millennials.
I'm Gen Z. I'll have you know. I don't even know what that means. Who cares? Why do we got these whole like age things or whatever? I don't
Who
know.
knows? I think that only started recently, didn't it?
Who knows? I think so. I don't know. Because we got like baby boomers, and then there's like before that was like the silent generation, I think.
The fuck?
Yeah, it was like that was like during the Great Depression.
And stuff?
No, because of the Great Depression,
No?
I'm pretty
Oh.
sure. I don't know.
I would have just called it the depressed
The
generation.
depressed generation. I think every generation is the depressed generation, but you know, whatever.
I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
Clocked out creatures. We just talk about like Star Trek the whole time, or
Star Trek.
Kingdom
Oh
Hearts.
no, that's like a cardinal sin. We can't do that.
So
Yes,
yeah,
you
we're just
they
talking
get
about
mad.
Doctor Who. I was gonna say Star Wars could be in Kingdom Hearts now. When are they gonna do that?
I have no idea.
You know what else could be in Kingdom?
Just in Kingdom Hearts, it's just Rogue Squadron.
You know what else could be in
Marvel?
Kingdom Hearts now? The Simpsons and Family Guy.
What about Marvel?
Yeah, all of Marvel. They could do a Marvel thing. I don't know why they haven't done that. They could also do the Alien universe.
I was gonna say probably Marvel is not in Kingdom Hearts 3 because Kingdom Hearts 3 has been in development for so goddamn long. It was
Yeah.
probably in development before they got their hands on Marvel.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 4, because we know there will probably be another one. They'll do it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know the
There's
story
too
of
much
Kingdom
money
Hearts.
to be made.
And then it's Rogue Squadron. And then Marvel's
Yeah.
Ultimate Alliance is actually just going to be the best it's ever been in Kingdom Hearts.
That would be cool. I don't know.
Why do I have to play Kingdom Hearts 4 to get like the best Marvel Ultimate Alliance experience?
If I'm gonna be honest, guys. I like the Marvel movies, but I'm not that into them. I'm not really that interested in them most of the
That's
time.
fair. The
I'll
only
watch
Marvel
them.
movie I'm looking forward to is Black Widow.
That one looks cool.
Because I love Scarlett Johansson as an actress. And,
Yeah.
like, I just love her in general.
Have you seen the movie Under the Skin with her?
I have not.
That's a really good one.
I mean,
She's
there's
like
also-
she plays like an alien that like abducts men, like kills them.
Oh.
It's
like a
interesting.
Black Widow.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Most of the movie was like impromptu. Like she just drove around in a van and like talked to people, and like they just recorded their genuine reactions and then like edited them into the film. It's a really good one.
I mean, there was also I just had a movie in my head for what she was in. And oh yeah, Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, I haven't seen that. I've heard that
People were mad.
people that like the anime do not like that movie, and I feel like it's probably justified in a lot of ways because I don't know, Hollywood adaptations are usually kind of
Yeah.
hit and miss, but mostly miss. Oh man, you know what movie is really great though that I used to. I didn't really care for it before, but the more I watch it, the more I really love it. Is Speed Racer. Have you guys seen the Speed Racer movie?
Is it the one that came out in like 2006?
It sounds familiar.
2008?
I don't know. If I know.
Yeah.
Something like the more recent one?
Yeah, 2008.
Yeah, because doesn't it have the guy that was in Lost in it?
It does. He plays Racer X.
Yeah.
Oh, is it that? Oh, yeah.
It's that one. John Goodman's in it. He plays the dad.
Wasn't it also an anime or like a
Yeah.
cartoon?
It was like
It was an anime that was
it
like
was
brought over.
From when was it? Like was
the
it like
1960s.
was it 60s?
It was called like Go Go something in Japan, but they called it Speed
Gadget.
Racer. Go Go Gadget. It was called Go Go Speed Racer. It was Go Go. What is Speed Racer called? Google. What is Speed Racer called?
Hey,
I'm just
Google.
typing it in. As Mach Go Go Go. There you go.
Yes.
Anyways, yeah, the film adaptation of it is like, I can only describe the art style of the movie as Spy Kids. Really, like it's just like green screen and like not great CGI, but it's like...
It's obvious CGI, but it's like one of those ones where it's like so obvious that they don't care.
Yeah, exactly. They like take it and they like push it to an extent of like, it's so exaggerated that it's like, obviously they're not trying to make this realistic. Obviously they're just trying to make a cartoon with like actors and stuff. But that movie's really good. The more I watch it, the more I really love that movie.
Oh, have you guys seen, this is even older than that in terms of like movie wise, but like the old, like there's like a cartoon Hot Wheels movie.
Oh, I feel like I've seen that.
Oh, I can't remember what it is called. I could not remember for the life of me, but for some reason I feel like the VHS that it was on, yes. VHS guys.
The what?
We're old.
The what?
You guys are old.
It was like a green. It was like a green tape.
Oh, a green tape.
Like a green
I never
VHS
actually
tape.
watched on VHS, but we actually have like stacks and stacks of like Disney movies on VHS.
Yeah.
And my favorite, and the only one that I actually remember what it looks like, is the orange Rugrats Gone Wild. Like, I might not have watched it on VHS, but like, I remember what that is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up.
It's very,
Even though I'm, like 5 years younger than you guys?
Yeah, it's weird that format is the one that's become so iconic because, like, VHS is not a good format.
No.
It's so low quality and it like degrades so much over time. I don't know. Anyways, continue, Dustin. Sorry.
I'm gonna see if we can even find it because I'm trying to find.
I was gonna say because I remember a Hot Wheels movie, but I don't remember what it was. And there was also like a Hot Wheels show, but I don't remember what it was. That's like one of those like weird early memories I have of like watching cable as a kid. Was watching like
I feel like I know it too.
I watched some like 3D animated Hot Wheels show as a kid. Where they were like a...
Acceleracers?
Maybe. They were like a crime fighting team and they were all color-coded.
Oh my god, I think I remember that too.
I was gonna say, I think I remember seeing like one episode of it on like Jetix or something. Do you guys remember Jetix?
Yeah!
Vaguely.
Jetix! Yeah, it was that was like a... I want to say Canadian... I might be wrong. It was a station that was on here where it was like owned by Disney where they would show like... They'd show weird cartoons. I don't remember if it was owned by Disney or not, but they'd show, like, anything from, like, The Tick to, like, Animaniacs to, like, I don't know. I think Phineas and Ferb may have been on there. I could be wrong. This is a weird channel. But there's a bunch of cartoons on there that I would watch, like, late at night that I have, like, fleeting memories of that I'm like, were those real? Did I hallucinate those? I remember there was one called Puka, and for the longest time, I could not remember if it was real, but it was. There was another one. There's about, like, sushi fighters. Like, sushi...
The fuck?
I swear this was a show.
On what?
On Jetix.
I feel like I remember seeing that, too.
Something
like,
to do with
I never
sushi.
watched it, but...
And then there was... Do you guys remember Get Ed? Do you guys remember that show?
No.
That was like a 3D animated show. He kind of looked like Mega Man. They were like in the future and everyone had like weird vehicles and stuff. That's another one that I remember like one episode of and then nothing else. And I know I'm just kind of listing stuff off here, but I really liked as a kid. And I remember this one a lot. Do you guys remember Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good show, actually.
I've heard of it. I never watched it.
I want to say it's on Disney Plus now. I'm curious to go back and watch it because I remember actually really liking that show. This is a bizarre one, man. What a fun name for a show, though.
My Teenage Robot was one that I used to watch.
Yeah, My Life as a Teenage
Yeah,
Robot.
My Life as a
That one
Teenage
was
Robot.
good. Man, that's one of those ones that got canceled too soon.
Yeah.
Like, I think it only got like one season on TV, and then the second season was like released digitally, and
What was the full name of the one that you had said?
Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go. I could slow down if you want.
It is on Disney Plus.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah, I think that Hot Wheels movie that I think I might have found it. I'm not sure. It has been well over a decade and a half. It came out in 2003, at least the one that I found, and that's when I last saw it was 2003.
Wow.
It was Hot Wheels World Race.
I don't think I ever watched that.
It's 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great 3D.
Oh my god. Yeah.
It's not great 3D, but
yeah.
Oh,
this
that
is
is
2003.
It's like really crappy game, like. like
I can't remember if that's even
in-game, like the FMVs.
like the Laura Croft,
like the original Tomb Raider with the triangle
I was gonna
tits.
say, it might, what I'm thinking of might not even be. It might not actually even be Hot Wheels. It was like another weird racing thing because I feel like it was 2D was the one that I watched.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
There was one. I think it was the one that you were talking about earlier. Was the
overclocked.
Acceleracers was a series.
Acceleracers.
That was a series. It wasn't
like
that.
Mach 10, I think it was what it was
Mach
called.
10. Ben 10?
I don't know. I can't remember. It was like, dude had like a white car with a red stripe on it, and like it had a 10 on the side, and that's all I remember.
Ben 10. Hot Wheels.
And like some guy was really wanting the car because apparently it was
Mach
special,
10?
you know, like normal.
I'm looking up Mach 10. Mach 10! Mach 10 is 7,672.619 miles per hour. No, that's not it. I don't know what it is then. I'm afraid I don't know. We may never know.
I think I know what you're talking about too. Yeah. I think that might be the movie. It's like it's 2D animated movie.
Interesting. See, I have like a lot of...
It was called Speed Racer. Okay, yeah, it was that one.
It was Speed Racer?
Yeah.
It was the Mach...
Was it Mach 5?
Mach 5 is his car.
It was Speed Racer you watched.
I just remember it was like Mach something.
It was probably one of the reboots of Speed Racer you watched, because they had a lot of different versions of that show.
Yeah, it was something that I used to like only ever watch when it was just like on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never went out of my way to watch it, and my brother was generally the one watching it too.
Interesting. I definitely have a lot of cartoons like that I remember seeing, and like, do you guys ever have a cartoon like that where like you'll rediscover it like as an adult and suddenly you'll remember it? Do you know what happened to me?
The Winx Club was that one for me.
Winx Club. See, I know my sister watched that. I never watched it. That one looked like it was a fun one. I don't know.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as a kid. I went back and like got the first season on Amazon and everything like that.
Sick.
And like I started rewatching it and I was like, oh my god, this is so cringy, but like I still love it. That's
how a lot of shows feel. Like Teen Titans. Like Teen Titans holds up really well, but there's still a couple moments where I'm like I don't know.
You're like secondhand embarrassment.
Secondhand embarrassment. It's like when Aladdin would start to sing or something, and your parents were in the room, and you're like leave the room.
Oh my gosh. The newest Aladdin movie, the live action one, it is so cringy.
I heard that was really good.
I disagree.
I really disagree as well. Okay, so you know the beginning song, like the first song that gets sang, it's when like Aladdin's in the market and
he's... that was Arabian Nights.
One step ahead of the bread line. I don't know.
That one. But like he has Jasmine in his hand and is like leading her through the market because she like stole something without realizing it. They put it in like 2x for the movie. They like sped it up. Like I don't know. It was
they like sang it faster and then they like slowed down the footage or something.
No, they sped up the footage. But they like slowed down the singing so that it was still normal.
It's like see that whole like beginning has like zero energy. And when you compare it to the first one, like everything feels so like flat. Like there's no interesting shots. Like everything is like framed in a way where like if there's like a wall that Aladdin needs to jump over, it's just like wide shot, and then like Aladdin jumps over that wall, and it's like it's just so boring. Like there's no charisma to any of it. Like it's all just like so.
And there's the new song for Jasmine, Speechless.
That song is it's not an awful song, but like.
In the context, it's so bad.
It's so funny in the context because the whole idea behind that song, from what I understand, is like we wanted to give Jasmine a song because we wanted to show like how powerful she is and whatnot, and like that's all well and good, but they give it to her. It's like it's the thing of like they put it in a scene where like she sings that song as if like she's gonna like escape or like break free, and then it just like fades back. She never did, and it's like, what was the point of the song? To show that she's defiant to being kidnapped or held hostage? Like, wow. Like we needed a song.
You really
for that.
showed them.
It's just the whole thing just feels pointless, and that's how all the live action Disney remakes kind of feel to me.
The Beauty and the Beast one wasn't bad though.
I didn't watch that one.
That one's actually really good. Like Emma Watson did a really good job as well.
Like, I remember people were like, Beauty and the Beast was okay, alright. Aladdin, I heard people were like, it's actually pretty good. And then Lion King, people were like, what?
There's no reason
The Lion
for
King
Lion
one
King.
also isn't the worst. Like, I didn't mind it. But the Milan one, I literally
people...
got like 2 minutes in and was like, nope, no.
Oh, the
Yeah, people
Mulan one
panned
is so
Mulan
boring.
2020.
But
It's so bad. There's so many problems with that
to be
movie.
fair, it was like the Chinese portion of Disney, if I remember correctly, that was like, hey, you have to do this more historically accurate, which is fine and dandy, like perfectly fine. But then they go in and they add a new villain. And they add, like...
More historically accurate, and they add a wizard character.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't know if it's... I think it's more of like... Not necessarily historical thing. It was more of like a folklore thing. But it was one of those, it's like, okay, sure, if you want to make something that's closer to like the actual mythology of Mulan, sure. But when you have made a movie about it in previous term in the animated one, and then say you're doing a live action version of Mulan...
They should have named
Everyone, if they would have said, "Hey, we're doing an entirely different thing, not related to the animated movie," then people would have been in more open mind. But I'm pretty sure, didn't they also say like, "Hey, it's supposed to be like a live action version of our animated one," and then they ended up doing that to like please the Chinese audiences.
Yeah.
Which it might have done really well in China too, but like everyone else I know is like panda. Like people I know got like 20 minutes in and then turned it off because they're like, this is awful.
Yeah.
See, now another movie that I did that to was the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender movie, but that's because
There's no live action Avatar The Last Airbender
shut up.
movie.
For
I
this
don't know what
context,
you're-
there is.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you think they'll make a book too?
You know, they might.
They might.
But no, but like
There's not even a book
legitimately,
one.
You're right.
Well,
they have to make.
I understand that they were what they were trying to do. If they would have named it something different and renamed the characters, it would have been a little bit better. But like, come on, you can't even get the characters' names right.
Well, the thing is, okay, so here's the bizarre thing about that, right?
Yeah.
They say that they mispronounced the characters' names intentionally to better represent the cultures that the names are derived from. Like, if you took, I don't remember what culture the name Aang is derived from, but they used Ung because technically that would be like the pronunciation and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
Soka?
if you're trying to do that, maybe don't cast white actors as these characters.
Yeah.
Don't.
That also pissed me off.
The thing is, like, don't half-ass your representation. If you're gonna represent people, just do it. And then don't immediately. I don't know. Disney has this problem a lot. Like, they did it with Beauty and the Beast, and they did it with Star Wars Episode 9, where they made a big deal about, like, we're going to have our first same-sex couples on screen, right? Yeah. Star Wars Episode 9, very end, there's, like, a half a second shot where there's two women kissing in the background. Beauty and the Beast.
People were pissed.
Yeah. No, what is it called? I'm trying to think of this term. This guy, Mike Stoklaza, coined it. I'm gonna have to remember what the term is called.
What's the term based off of? What does it mean? Because I don't know what the heck you're saying.
I'm gonna remember it in a little bit here, but They did the same thing with Beauty and the Beast, where they were like, LeFou's going to be openly gay in this movie, and he has no scenes where he does anything to represent him. There's one scene from what I've seen where he gets passed off to another male dancing partner, and then it immediately cuts away.
Yeah.
And it's like,
or like J.K. Rowling claiming like all of these new things and everything like that, and then being transphobic openly on Twitter.
She did there's a lot of scummy stuff going on behind the scenes with that.
Yeah. I know a lot of J.K. Rowling. That's a whole
I understand wanting to make characters like Dumbledore being gay. You know, that's fine. Until you don't do anything like that for the book. If that was your plan from the beginning, then you need to write it out and make that your plan from the beginning, and not just being like, haha, he's gay, because audiences.
Yeah, you don't get to like come back later on and try to get brownie points in that way.
Yeah.
It's like the dude that wrote Kratos in a lot of the God of War games. He later on was like, oh, I always wrote Kratos to be a bi character, and it's like, no, you didn't, because he never has sex with anyone except for women in that game.
And he doesn't show any particular. See, like, that's the thing. Is like, if you have that intention, you need to be able to show it.
Yeah.
From the beginning.
Exactly, and sometimes they do it kind of half-assed, and this always gets brought up. Yeah, you get to talk about this. Legend of Korra.
Yes.
The ending. I don't have a problem with the characters getting together. I have a problem that they did it in a really crappy way.
I understand why they had to do it in the crappy way, though. Nickelodeon wouldn't let them.
But then that's the thing, is if you're going to try to do something and the company you are working for is not going to let you do it properly and make it well thought out, you probably shouldn't do it, because then it just seems half-assed and it seems contrived. Some people, when I watched Legend of Korra, at the very end, I was like, I'm like, is this like a relationship thing? Is this just their friendship? Because I also know a lot of girls in real life that they just hold hands when they go where it's nothing. It's nothing special. It's just something that they do. So I was like, I'm not sure. So I had to go online to find out if it was like a canon thing, what it actually was. Because every instance that people were like, here's like these instances, like when she compliments her hair and all that, and I'm like, I have a bunch of friends in real life who do that already. That's not like that.
You have to Google sexuality of a character. You did it wrong.
I think the thing is that there's like a line that Hollywood and like, I guess not just Hollywood, but a lot of filmmakers have drawn, where like inclusivity is like everything up until the point, like a character can be like gay or bi or any of those LGBT things, as long as they don't pass the line of actually showing it on screen.
One thing that I absolutely, there's a show that I love for their
showing affection, that's what I mean.
Is the live-action Shadowhunter series.
I've never heard of that.
It's based off of Cassandra Clare's books. And in the book, there's a character named Alec, and there's a character named Magnus. Magnus is very flamboyant and very openly bi. Like, he is very openly bi. Alec is a closeted gay, or closeted bi. I'm not actually 100% sure. It's been a while since I've seen the show and read the books. But in the show, or in the books, the two get together. And the show, they do not, like, stray away from it at all. Like, spoilers to those of you guys that haven't read the books, seen the show or anything, you know, obviously. But in the show, Alec is being married off because, you know, that's how it is and everything like that. And it was like an arranged marriage, basically, to help the family. And Magnus basically shows up and, like, crashes the wedding. And Alec runs from the altar and kisses Magnus. And, like, that was their first, like, 100%, like, hey, these two characters are either bi and or gay.
There's no editing that out for different regions, as Disney is known to do.
But that is one of the only shows that I have seen and watched that they have openly gay characters, openly bi characters that actually show affection towards the same sex.
Yeah.
And I love it. Like, you know, I love seeing representation for people who don't get representation like that.
Yeah. I think that everybody deserves to have representation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think there's any reason why it shouldn't happen, you know?
No.
And I think more writers and producers and directors need to practice what they preach, essentially.
Like, me, myself, a lot of the shows that I watched growing up didn't have, like, blonde characters. Or, like, blonde hair, blue-eyed, or, like, blonde hair, mild green eye, you know? Shit like that. And when I, like, watched Tangled or, like, Sleeping Beauty or anything like that, they became, like, my favorite Disney princesses because they were blonde and I was blonde. And, like, it was cool, especially with, like, Rapunzel, because I had long blonde hair when I was a kid. And so I was like, oh, look, I'm Rapunzel. I have long blonde hair. I'm cool, you know?
Yeah, you were, 5 when Tangled came out?
I don't know. I might have been. Don't call me out like that, Nolan. When did Tangled come out?
Tangled came out in 2010.
I don't know.
I was 9, thank you.
You're welcome.
2010? Oh, God. I was 13.
But yeah, like, it was so important for me to have figures like that, especially Aurora from Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she was my favorite princess up until the Tangled movie came out, and then Rapunzel became my favorite because that's what I got called a lot as a kid.
Right.
So, representation is so important, especially for little girls and little boys and everything like that.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about Star Wars. Clocked out creatures. No, I'm just kidding.
I am still trying to find that goddamn animated car movie.
Culture.
I found the term I was looking for. The Mike Stoklaza from Red Letter Media coined this while talking about that, like, Rise of Skywalker, passive progressive. where studios are like, look at how progressive we are, and then they do the thing where they're like in the background and they like edit it out for like different regions.
I can't remember.
And stuff. Clocked out creatures.
That's another thing. Ruby.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that show. Like it's one of my favorite shows out there. I get a lot of Ruby.
Yeah.
I get a lot of inspiration from it, as I've said multiple times in other interviews and such. But Blake and Yang. Now,
Blake.
I have speculation after watching the newest episode and everything like that. I'm not going to do any spoilers for this, so don't worry, because it literally just came out like less than a week ago. But there's something that Blake and Yang do in Volume 8, episode, I think, 11, when they reunite again, that a lot of people are like saying that it's not necessarily a romantic gesture, it's more of a sisterly gesture. And so, there's been a lot of like, oh, I ship these two, like these two need to be together, but if you watch seasons before and episodes before and everything like that, there's really nothing that brings up the fact that they might be interested in each other, like, in a romantic way, other than the newest seasons. Like the last, I think, Volume 7 is when it really starts. If the writers were to immediately make them into a relationship, it would have been it just would have been a poor representation and poor build up to it. So I'm hoping that, just like they are with two of the other characters, which I'm also not going to say because it's another spoiler, they recently confessed some stuff to each other, and they've had a build-up since, like, season maybe 4 or something like that. So they can obviously do it very well and everything like that, so I hope they end up doing that with Blake and Yang in the future. So.
And then there's, what is it, John's sister?
Yeah, Jean's sister is actually
it's like,
married.
This is my sister and her wife, and this is their kid. Boom,
Yeah, so, and we know that Rooster Teeth as a whole is not afraid to shy away, or is not afraid to show, like, LGBTQ relationships and things like that. Like, literally, in season, 3 or something like that, Jean was in a dress. So they're really not afraid of those kind of stereotypes, and they're not afraid to show them. So I just hope that they properly do this relationship.
I think the biggest thing with, writing a relationship like that is just, it's not hard. You just treat it with the respect you would treat any other relationship. The fact of the matter is, if you write a weak relationship in a show, it's going to be weak regardless of if you're being inclusive or not. Just treat it with the respect you would if you were writing a straight couple and, there you go. It seems to be, a big hurdle for a lot of writers, which is...
not how it should be.
It's not how it should be. It's just not how it should be at all. I don't know. There's different perspectives from different types of relationships, but just... treat it with research and whatnot like you would anything else, and you'll be okay.
Yep.
Ding.
That's it.
Yeah, that's...
Passive progressive.
Yeah. I just remember that Star Wars thing, because I do think they, show... I don't think they're, super far in the background. I think they're kind of more...
They're mid.
They're, I think it was one of those...
You'd have to be looking for
I remember the scene, because I remember hearing about it, from, reviewers and whatnot before the movie actually came out. I think it's actually something that's, in front of you, it happened. It doesn't last for very long, and then they kiss or something, and people got mad. It was really, it's 3 seconds. I know, again, 3 seconds isn't enough for
people shouldn't be getting mad.
It's 3 seconds, and it was and it was mad because it happened.
Yeah,
not because it was only 3 seconds of possible inclusion. It was 3 seconds of why is this in here?
I pulled it up. Let's time it, okay? We're starting at 5 seconds, or 6 seconds. It's over.
It
was 2 seconds.
It was 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
They kissed, and people were pissed that they kissed. It's really?
People that are oh my god, Disney did it right. Do not give them credit. They edited that out in China and other regions.
Yes.
But people that are mad at that are even more stupid, I would say.
Yeah.
I'm just cool, it happened.
Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, personally, that's not my,
I don't care.
Sexuality.
Really.
But I am excited for the people that is their sexuality, because, they get to see representation.
Yeah.
I'm of the,
My
I don't...
sexuality is Inspector Gadget.
My sexuality is nothing.
It sounds bad, but, I don't care.
Sure.
I mean, that's fair.
I think Ruby did it pretty decently with the Jean thing, is because they just introduced it and was like, here
As
it
it was
is,
normal.
okay, that's fine, whatever. None of the characters really talked about that
wasn't
particular
like
thing.
a
It was like,
pause.
oh, look at your kid and all that. You guys are so nice. Thanks for letting us stay here, or whatever the situation was.
Yeah.
They didn't like mention like the relationship at all, really.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they need to do more of, just present it as this is it, here it is, whatever. No
Yeah.
one make a big deal of it, unless you're trying to, unless it's part of the narrative and and it's part of your story or whatnot of
Yeah.
supposed to be some sort of conflict that is figured out later.
You can't please everyone, and it sucks because people will get pissed off at this podcast, honestly, because we're talking about like acting like it's no big deal,
Sure.
acting like it shouldn't be a big special thing.
There will be people that are going to be mad at it because we brought it up in the first place. You know?
Yeah. Looking forward to the most disliked podcast.
We're gonna have the most watched podcast on both fronts, I feel like. Most watched.
Yeah.
Star Wars. And it's going to
Copyright strike.
Go, Gadget, go!
Anyways, I'm done.
And you hear that? That's the sound of the copyright strike.
That's
Yeah,
the sound
you
of
just-
the
That's the
band
sound of
hammer.
demonetization. What is that? What is that?
Inspector Gadget's gonna he's gonna go Gadget, break my knees.
He's gonna go.
Go Gadget demonetization.
Go Gadget, cement shoes.
Semen shoes.
Go Gadget yourself into Lake Fierce, or whatever. Lake
Go
Fierce?
Gadget
Lake
yourself
Fierce?
into-
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, sure. Clocked out creatures.
Sorry for the long pause.
We talked about
things that get us
We
talked about-
demonetized.
Yeah, demonetization is just like, we heard you
Demonetization.
talking about that. Yeah, that's a no.
Yeah.
That's a no for me, dog.
No. Yeah. I don't know what else to talk about though.
We can go with Star Wars. Cap it with Star Wars.
What are we gonna talk about with Star Wars though?
I don't know. Something. Something.
Anything. I had something. What did you guys ever have like a movie as a kid that you would watch like over and over and over again?
No, but I have a show.
Yeah.
I don't recall having anything that like I just constantly watched, but my brother, I think one time in one day he watched
Oh, I
Toy
did.
Story or Toy Story 2 like 7 times.
That's insane.
7 or 8
That's
times or
dedication.
something. Like he like watched it for like, and like it wasn't like, okay, he would watch it, take a break. I mean, it was like it put in and then it finished. Parents would rewind it and then he would immediately watch it again. Like it was like a straight 10 to like 12 hours of just watching Toy Story.
Just listening to
See,
Randy Newman. Yeah.
I didn't think I had one, but I actually do. It was Shark Boy and Lava Girl, but we had like the
Yeah.
cool 3D one, so it
Whoa.
came with the 3D glasses.
Oh, the really
Yeah.
crappy 3D
yeah,
glasses.
the really crappy 3D glasses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember having Spy Kids 3D.
That one I watched a lot. But it was kind of going off the Star Wars thing because I was going to say I had like the original trilogy on VHS and I like wore those things into the ground.
Oh, God.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we
No.
watched, you know what we watched a lot of, and this kind of ties back into like remembering cartoons that you forgot. My sister had Barbie and the Nutcracker, and we
Oh my
watched
God.
that movie a lot for some reason. I think it was like sometimes she would pick that, and then we would pick like Star Wars or something else, and we would just like watch those. I guess I don't know.
No, I remember. I watched a thing from Screw Attack called Death Battle. I don't know if
Oh, you
you're
watched
sure
a
you-
lot of
Oh, I
Death
know.
Battle.
I've watched a lot of Death Battle.
They're part of the
Yeah.
Rooster Teeth group now.
And one of the older ones, I shouldn't say older ones, it's been maybe in the past 2 years or something that they did it, and the one that came out relatively recently, one was Yoda versus Mickey Mouse.
I heard about that one. I
Yeah,
wanna see
and then
that.
the other one was Kakashi from Naruto versus Obi-Wan. And
Interesting.
I remember, like, I just remember, like, so
gotta
many
watch
memes. The
those.
Obi-Wan one was just, like, all the meme lines you could possibly imagine in that.
God.
And then the
Oh, I
Yoda
have the
Mickey
high
one
ground.
was also, like, just found out that Yoda is stupid powerful too. Like,
did somebody say the darkness?
Yeah.
What the?
No, do you guys care who I say who wins?
About the Yoda Mickey Mouse
Or
one?
both of them?
I'm gonna say Mickey Mouse wins.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse wins. He's like a god in Kingdom Hearts.
And
Yoda's
then,
just like.
And then in the Kakashi versus Obi-Wan one, Obi-Wan wins.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Damn. People.
Yeah.
People
I
are.
would have thought Kakashi might have won.
They did a.
Like the one thing that Kakashi had was like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like Obi-Wan just can move way faster than anything that Kakashi could was useful because Obi-Wan Force users can move at fractions of the speed of, or in fractions
But I mean,
of nanoseconds.
Kakashi also does have the Sharingan in his one eye, so he could have done the copycat stuff.
He
that
can't
does
because the thing is technically because it's not something that is internal from Obi-Wan. It's using an external force. He can't copy.
No, and I'm not saying that he would be copying it. The Sharingan also helps you read movements and see things like that. Sorry, I'm a nerd.
The force also lets him do it. So then technically that's an even.
But there's still a thing where Kakashi would have been able to see movements and things like that, and would have been able to at least get an upper hand in some way. So
Yeah.
I feel like that fight would have been a lot closer of a fight.
Also, Obi-Wan is widely considered one of the strongest Force users. I mean, there's a lot of strong Force users, and there's one character that they were they directly compared him to Obi-Wan in terms of Force strength and capabilities. And so it's so anything that this character can do, Obi-Wan can do because he was directly compared to him, being he's as strong as Obi-Wan. And the dude ended up moving a black hole. With the Force. This dude moved a singularity.
Can I also just say, there's so much gatekeeping that goes on in the Star Wars universe.
Oh,
For those of you that don't know what gatekeeping is, it's generally meant to prevent females and or smaller people, children, from actually, quote-unquote, being interested in the games or, believing that they aren't a true fan or things like that.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things for Star Wars, for gatekeeping, that I always hear of is Darth Revan. They say that if you don't know who Darth Revan is, you don't know Star Wars. But at the same time, Darth Revan was a really crappy Star Wars game, if I remember correctly.
It is Knights of the Old Republic, which is considered one of the best, one of the best Star Wars games.
That's actually really
Sorry,
good.
not crappy. My bad. That was the wrong word to use, apparently. But where it was
we're gonna gatekeep you now.
not necessarily canon, I think, is in a sense, because Darth Revan was supposed to be spoilers, I guess, for people who haven't played the game. Where you are Darth Revan or something.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, it was just kind of a weird concept, and so people don't necessarily use it as a good introduction to Star Wars.
He may come back into canon. There's weird things with that.
The whole timeline got messed up when Disney got their hands on Star Wars, because then they basically was okay, anything that isn't the movies is no longer canon, guys.
Movies are Clone Wars, and it's interesting because Revan almost technically would have made it in as canon still, because Disney said Clone Wars is still canon and stuff, right?
Yeah.
There was the deleted scene in Clone Wars where they're on this Force planet where Darth Revan was going to appear as a Force vision, and they just barely cut him for time. So for a little while there, Old Republic was still going to be canon, and it just barely missed out. But how could they have known? Because they didn't know Disney was going to buy them out at that point.
That's one of the biggest things that guys will say, oh, you don't know anything about Star Wars. Do you even know who Darth Revan is?
Do you know who Darth Revan is?
And it's a game that happened a while ago, and it's not necessarily
It's on the
canon,
original
I
Xbox.
think.
That's...
You don't know who
Oh.
Jax is?
Honest, Darth Revan, that's one that if they know Darth Revan, they probably know Star Wars, because that's not one you hear at all in the movies. If you literally just
And
watched
that's
the
why
movies
they
and
use
didn't
it.
look at anything in there, it's you're not going to know who Darth Revan is. So if you
And
know
that's
who
why
Darth
they use
Revan
it.
is, then it's then you know Star Wars. But it's that's also something that's
that is legitimately the reason why they use it, is because he's not in any of the movies, and they say that if you only watch the movies, you're not a real fan.
That's like when people tell people you can't wear a Nirvana shirt, you don't listen to Nirvana. I used to kind of think like that, and now I'm why would I get mad at someone for that? And it's even more bizarre with Star Wars people, because Star Wars people would be you're not a real fan. I bet you don't even know who Fodes Mbitanodu is or whatever. And it's like, what are you talking about?
This one dude that got mentioned once on one single page in this novel that came out 20 years ago.
Like, oh,
Even
man.
like Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of things where it's like, if you just watch the movies, you're not a real fan because you didn't read the comics.
Yeah.
I have legitimately had people tell me that before.
Do you know how many comics there are?
Or like, over like Xbox and stuff, because I do game, and you know, as I don't know if we've ever talked about it before.
Yeah, we're gamers. Sorry.
We game.
Some of us are, more than others.
I'm a gamer.
But I
play Dark
have
Souls. That's it.
legitimately be called normally female slurs, and derogatory terms and everything like that. I have been called a dishwasher. I have been legitimately told to get back into the kitchen and make a sandwich for my husband.
What?
And I'm literally, generally it's by people who are, you know, children like 12 and younger. I'm sorry, I still can't speak. And things like that. And it's just, it's a normal thing for me to encounter if I ever go into game chat. And it sucks.
Huh. I had no
Just switch
idea.
over to PlayStation. There's no one in game chat.
There you go.
You might come across one or two people in game chat, and there's usually people who are just blasting their fucking music anyway, so you just mute them.
Is anyone here? There's nothing.
But being somebody who primarily plays first-person shooter games, it can get really toxic. But on TikTok, there was one TikTok that I saw a while ago, and it was like a girl crying, saying like she understands that this is part of the game, and you know, like how Call of Duty is generally very toxic in general. You know, it came from the first like, oh, I'll, you know, screw your mom and stuff like that. You know,
Classic.
you know, things like that. And
Classic
it has
mama
become
jokes.
normal to expect that from Call of Duty lobbies. But at the same time, there is a point where it is not normal anymore, and you should not be expecting it just because you are female.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this girl was literally in tears because she had been called so many different words, so many different slurs, and so many different derogatory terms. But while she's in tears, she's still crying, saying, I know it's part of the game.
Mm.
But it's not. That's the community that the game has attracted.
There's a level of anonymity online where people have the feeling of getting away with what they couldn't in real life, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or shouldn't be able to, you know?
There's, honestly, the times I played Call of Duty, even long ago,
You don't...
doesn't really compare all that much to my time that I spent on League of Legends. League of Legends
League of
is
Legends
literally,
is super
it's got to
toxic.
probably be one of the most
God.
toxic communities out there. I mean, there are good points and good members of the community and whatnot, but overall, you come across some salty ass people who are just every name you could possibly think of will call everybody in the game that, their teammates, enemies, everybody. I've had somebody where they literally ended up losing the game because their teammates were so sick of this dude calling them names that they just were like, okay guys, come win.
Come win.
Get us out of this. Like,
you know what? We're done. Just like, come
I've also
win.
had it to where they were winning. Like, they were about to win. And since there was 4 of them that were in a party who said screw it, they ended up surrendering the game to let us win. Because they're like, we're tired of this dude calling everybody names, even though we're winning. He just keeps calling us names and just keeps shitting on us and all that. So we're just gonna, they forfeit it, and there's no way this dude could stop it because it was a 4-1 vote. So we ended up winning, and we were like, okay.
Damn.
I'll take it.
What on earth, man?
Yeah, no, it's a terror. Like, sometimes you will get the games where there's one person toxic and then everyone else just absolutely shits on them, their allies and enemies alike. And then there's just times where sometimes there are some good back and forth. I have seen some really good back and forth ones that are kind of, it's the classic ribbing on each other, but not going too far with it. But then there's other times where it's like, and there are people that go from 0 to 100 in an instant.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I've had someone to where they were nice, friendly, whatever. They died once, and in like 5 seconds, flipped their shit and left the game.
Man.
It's like, we've been winning this entire time, and then you die once because you did something kind of stupid. and then you go and leave.
Yeah, it's truly bizarre.
My time in Call of Duty wasn't that bad. I was usually the toxic person in Call of Duty, but that was mostly because people would not play the objective. So I would be
this one before.
Yeah, I think I have screaming. Play the objective.
That was really funny. Anyway,
Yeah, and being a squeaker, I also got a lot of shit back in the day.
Yeah, we did do this on the podcast.
Was it
I remember you explaining what a squeaker was.
Really funny.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Play the fucking objective.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you guys play right now?
Destiny 2.
Destiny 2, yeah.
I've been playing a lot of Dead by Daylight or like Overwatch lately.
That's cool.
I've only been playing Destiny when I'm raiding, so.
And then another game that I just bought not too long ago that I'm still playing through is it's an RPG called Arafel or something like that.
I have not heard of it.
Arafel. Don't know how that first part is pronounced, but it's a 16-bit like JRPG that they came out with an enhanced version 2019 or something that I've been looking at, and it was on sale, so I was like, finally. So I was like, I'm probably not going to pay like the full price for the game because it was like $14.99. I'm like,
Yeah.
So it was like 60% off, so I'm like, no, I'm going to buy it. So far, so good.
Yeah.
Not the best RPG I've ever played. There's another one that was on sale that I think I bought for like $3, and it was a $15 game called Avastia Chronicles. I enjoy that one more, but some of those old, like some like the kind of indie RPG games, but with like RPG Maker, those kinds of programs, I would actually not ever recommend to beginners.
Yeah.
Because they're usually got a lot going for them, or like a lot to like look at.
Have you guys heard of the one called Off? Have you guys heard of that?
No.
That's one that I'm playing through right now. It's like it's a classic one. It's one of those first like RPG Maker games. It's like it's considered it kind of inspired a lot of things. It inspired Yume Nikki, it inspired Undertale. It's an interesting one. It's one of those it's got a cool style to it. I don't know how to explain it without like just flat out spoiling it, I guess, but it's a cool one. I'd recommend it.
Yeah,
it's
16-bit.
Yeah, and then there's what else have I been playing? I played a little bit of Yume Nikki not too long ago because I used to play that one a lot. I used to just explore that one. That's a fun one. Yeah. It's not like a game though. It's just like a exploration thing.
Yeah, I like my RPGs. I have like an entire backlog of them that I need to get through, but they're all 40 to 80 hour games depending. And some of those like indie RPGs with RPG Maker and the like, a lot of those games are usually not super long for an RPG. But some of them, like, I dumped a lot of hours. I dumped like 60 hours into Avastia Chronicles. I'm like, I spent way more time on this than I ever thought I would.
Yeah, that's how they go.
And it's one of those, because there's just a lot of numbers and a lot of, like, min-maxing. And I'm like, this would just be overwhelming for a new player.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, honestly, like, the big-name RPG games, JRPG games, I should say, like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, I'd actually start off with, because even though they are the mainstream ones, they are, like, the most basic.
Yeah.
See, my first, like, not necessarily RPG, but like a single player game was the newest Tomb Raider that came out, Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Oh, that one looked cool.
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that one a lot. But, I mean, then after that, it was the Jedi the Fallen Order. So those are really the only ones that I've played.
I want to play that one very bad. That one looks really good.
It was so good.
It looks super buggy at first, but I've heard they fixed it.
It's not actually too buggy.
There were
a
lot. Yeah, I remember seeing a lot of like the first day footage of it, and it was like bad at first. Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh yeah, I think I remember hearing about that. And
just a lot of weird like ragdoll stuff and like collision physics. Like I don't know, weird things.
Yeah, I remember seeing stuff that was like weird things that were happening because it was slightly buggy, and then just the ending.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it still looked like fun though, and I've heard that they really have patched a lot of it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I played it like...
You can thank EA for rushing the studio to get it out. Thanks, EA, you suck.
I played it like a little less than a year ago or something like that, so I played it a little after it came out and everything.
Cool.
Yeah,
it was good though. I
just remember like the ending and just everyone just freaking out.
Oh, that's cool. The endings of that looked really cool. I kind of watched someone play through it, so...
I just remember, like... I can't remember... It popped up in my YouTube recommendations, and I watched, like, a compilation of everyone's reactions to it, because it's, like... Everyone had basically the same reaction of, oh, no.
Yeah. Like, everybody getting hyped.
And there's two sects of people.
spoiled for me.
Yeah.
And that was actually the reason why I wanted to play the game. Is because I had the ending spoiled for me, and I was like, "Oh, that looks so badass! Like, I want to see that in person."
I just remember like there's two categories of people. There were the people that like run, and then there's people like, do we have to fight him?
See, since I had it spoiled for me, I knew how you had to do it. I knew you had to run and everything like that.
Yeah.
So,
although you just know you have like.
Although
Spoilers?
I actually went back and attempted to fight him.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You just lose.
Yep.
Which I think is really well done, because it's also, I think you've made a really well done villain when just the smallest sound associated with them is enough for you to go, oh no.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Leave. Like, spoiler alert, 5, 4, 3, 2, or I should say, spoiler for Jedi Fallen Order, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Darth Vader shows up at the very end, and people were like, you don't, like, there's a confrontation or something going on, and then you just hear the breathing, and everyone was like, oh no. And it's like, you know you made a great villain when you can hear like that first little breath, and you just are like, lock up and are like, please God, no. I remember the same thing happened with the Sephiroth reveal for Smash Brothers. It's like the first note started playing and everyone was like,
yeah, for real.
Oh, no.
You can hear like bum, and you're like, oh, it's Sephiroth.
And then like in Final Fantasy VII Remake,
yeah,
they had like the music started playing and everyone was like, wait, do we have to fight him?
Dun.
No. And then people were like, do we actually have to fight him, or is this like one of those you're not supposed to fight? And there's like, oh no, we're fighting him now.
Yeah, the Jedi the Fallen Order game though, the plot, I actually really enjoyed it. My only complaint was I couldn't create my own character, which I mean I understand, you know, it's supposed to be this very specific character, but I wish you would have been able to have a little more customization. Other than that, I love the fact that I could customize my lightsaber.
We finally have a ginger main character in Star Wars.
Yes.
And he's a dork.
He is an absolute dork.
He's such a derpy looking guy. He's so funny. I love him. He's a fun protagonist.
Sometimes I actually wish that games would go more with having a character you play as. Like, instead of having a create your own character, I know it's fun to create your own character, but a lot of times when you do that, you're always the silent protagonist, and I'm getting tired of that.
Yeah, I like it when a character
I would
has
love to see like I would love to see like an RPG, like a JRPG, have a voiced main character.
See, but it's not that hard to do, like, voice characters.
You could do, like, voice packs, too.
You could also, you could legitimately do something where it's, like, you know, the mouth model is the exact same for every character or something like that, or for every voice. But at the same time, you would be able to give them the thing that most people want is to have a customized character and voice lines.
Yeah, that takes a lot of work, because then that's a lot of extra time and money. That's why they don't do it that way, because it takes a significant more time.
I mean, at the same time, though,
because it might also because it also might be
changes of like the character's skins and like the changes of like the armor and everything like that. It would be no different than just making it so you can't change that one piece.
Depending on the
Cyberpunk did that really well.
Yeah,
even though that game's weird
and sometimes they do God, what am I trying to think of? It's not live action.
Motion capture?
Motion capture.
Yeah.
It was motion something. I'm like, sometimes they do motion capture for the voice, for the animations, and sometimes it doesn't match up with the model correctly.
Yeah, a lot of the times the way that they do it is it's like automated, where the machine will try to like open the mouth as like the syllables are happening, which works sometimes. But
usually you can tell when they're like spend a lot of time in the mouth movements, or if they did motion capture, or if it's just they're just being like, okay, there's going to be kind of some small variations in mouth movement to get some sort of shapes out, but...
One game that actually did it very well, to where you could customize your character, it wasn't the most in-depth customization, but is Tom Clancy's The Division, as well as Tom Clancy's Wildlands. Wildlands especially, because there are specific cutscenes where if you haven't played the game, it's not really much of a spoiler, you get to do it within the first couple of minutes. You actually end up interrogating people of the cartel that you're trying to take down, to where you're trying to figure out the next place to go, you know, the next people to kill, everything like that. Where your character, while they don't necessarily say a lot in a lot of these scenes, they will say more than what everybody else does. Like, there's one specific one where you are specifically the only one interrogating this person. and you choose the voice lines, or you choose the voice that you use, you choose the character model that you use, to where you can still change the hairstyle, but the face stays the same. So you don't get a really... the customization lacks a little bit more than a lot of other games, but at the same time, you still get the customization and the ability to speak in cutscenes. And I wish a lot more games would have been able to do that, to where maybe you keep the same faces the exact same, or, you can't really customize the face as much, which, I mean... A lot of people will do the thing where it's like, how good is the customization if you can't make Waluigi out of it?
Right? Yeah. So I've wondered this for a little while now. With how good we can do like text-to-speech now, I'm surprised there haven't been, or at least to my knowledge, there haven't been any games where you can enter your own name and the characters can use text-to-speech and say your name. I know it probably wouldn't sound great, but I'm surprised it's not a thing that someone's tried yet. Like, if you had, like, if in like the Final Fantasy VII Remake, you can name yourself Jeff, and then for like Barrett and Tifa and every character that would say your name, they recorded their like vocals as they do with like text-to-speech programs and had them try to do something like that, where instead of calling you Cloud, they'd be like, "Hello, Jeff." Like, I'm surprised they haven't tried that at least.
Yeah, I'm surprised there hasn't been like mods for that at least.
It sounds pretty good at this point, but I think part of that might also be because it's more of an AI thing than like
It might be an AI thing, and they might also, like, you'd have to get various sounds.
Mm-hmm, with inflections.
Of inflections, so you'd have to go through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of different syllables and all of that, and in at least only in English.
Or even if they did something,
replicate that, and even then it might still sound a bit off. But AI programming would probably be pretty decent at it.
I was gonna say, you could probably get around it if you have some kind of thing where like everybody's dialogue is text to speech. Like if you had a game with like robots or something, like then you could get away with it, and it would be pretty cool for you to be like, for them to be like, "Welcome back," like Goblin Boy 857 or whatever.
I think that also the reason they do that is also to prevent from any vulgarities to getting through with whatever variations, whether or not they have a censor thing at the beginning to where you can't even put it in, or if they did or if they didn't, it avoids the potential for being like stopping from saying that's like welcome back to the hub, boner daddy.
See, and like that would be fine still, because that's still fun. And like if it's just a single player game and you're not putting that online, then like who cares? People are gonna name themselves that anyways. It goes back to like Pokemon, and like your name would be like Nolan, and your rival's name is Dick Butt, like that's just like a thing that people want to do, and it makes the game more entertaining, because then your rival comes up and they're like, "Sup?" and it's like, "Boner Daddy wants to fight," or whatever you said a minute ago.
Boner Daddy 420.
Something else that I think it was actually Tom Clancy's Division and Wildlands both. I think they were the ones that did this. I don't know. It's a game that I've played before, but they basically brought up a screen with a number of like words and things like that, and it was like, what do you want your operative to be called? And it was like some cool decent names and everything like that, but in game they would use that name instead of like something that you would yourself would input, so that way you got the ability to be called by a name that's more unique to yourself, but not necessarily unique to everybody.
Yeah, and something similar that people have done in games, like the first one that comes to my mind is Facade, is they'll have a list of set names that you can pick so that the characters still say their names. So they'll be like, "Dave, how's it going?" Or whatever.
Yeah.
That's my Trip impression from Facade.
Yeah.
Put it up next to an actual Trip recording right here.
Dave! Hi, it's so great to see you!
Dave! How's it going?
It's been a while. How's it going?
Because, games do that, but it's
apparently
like...
not.
The one genre that I wish that they'd do that more is in JRPGs. Like, I would love if in, like, Dragon Quest XII, the main character talked and you could... and they would actually have a voice rather than just being the silent protagonist, and then... in the text box it'd be like, and then you explain to them what the situation
is. Or
they
do the thing where they like start to talk and then it like fades to black and then fades back and they're like, "I understand,"
Yeah, like I would love to actually hear like, I was like, yeah, it's cool to have the customization for in some of the games or whatnot in whatever RPG, but I would also just love for like, here's your character and here's what they sound like.
Yeah.
Have fun with their like just like any of the rest of the characters, the protagonist and then the main character and they're the hero, but they have a voice just like any of your other companions might have. They talk. they have their own reactions. I would love to see that more.
Yeah, I agree.
Specifically more in JRPGs.
Right. Yeah.
But like, so a lot of times they're just silent. I mean, sometimes you have to keep them silent, or you give them weird grunts and groans. I'm looking at you, Link. if they made a game where Link started talking, I'd be like, no.
They did make a game where Link started.
I know, and
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
excuse me, princess.
Yeah. I'm so hungry, I could eat an Octorok.
Yeah.
So good.
Like, there's some characters, it's like, at this point, you can't make them talk.
We should probably start wrapping it up. We're almost an hour and a half in.
Good.
Well, there's that entire section that's got to get cut anyway. So
One last thing, because it's a Star Wars episode.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Episode 3.
Okay.
I know that was really fast.
Well, you had it. No, that's good. Okay, what's your favorite?
I don't think I have a favorite. I'll be honest. I like any of the ones with Padme. I'll be honest. She's my favorite.
She's cool.
I want to say yours is what, episode 5?
Mine's episode 4.
Ah, that was close.
I like the original. I think that one's got the most ingenuity for the time, and that it holds up really well as like a standalone. Like, it's not reliant on the others, I guess.
Yeah, I just like any of the ones with Padme. She's literally my favorite, so.
She's cool.
Yeah.
I don't like it when people say that Padme is a do-nothing character, because she kind of, like, formed the Rebel Alliance and, like, was actively, like, trying to get Palpatine out of office, not with like a lightsaber, but with like politics and whatnot. Yeah, like she like played by the rules and like kicked ass. I like Padme.
I hate people that just keep saying like some characters literally do jack shit when they do a lot. Like Sakura, it actually pisses me off when people say that she's useless because she learned how to heal.
I'm out of my league here. I've never seen Naruto.
Like I do understand, like the first part, like most of like the Naruto, the plain just Naruto, not Shippuden or anything like that. Yes, she is useless, and I do admit. But then there are parts where she's not useless at all. Like specifically during the tuning exams, if I remember correctly. Don't come at me in the comments. It's been a while. Where there's a part where one of them is holding her hair and everything like that because she's got the long hair and, you know, long hair was important to Sasuke and that's why she had it. And she actually ends up cutting her hair so she can get out and actually help save the boys and everything. Yeah. Like, people look over facts like that. Like, yes, she's a wimpy character and everything. But during Shippuden, when she saw that Naruto and Sasuke were both trying to, you know, get stronger and everything like that, she went to Tsunade to train and to learn how to be a medical ninja and, to learn how to have the monstrous strength that Tsunade actually had, and she ends up showing that later on. So, like, the fact, yes, she was useless in the beginning, but at the end she became more useful, if that makes sense, and more different abilities and different, like, it'd be like a playstyle in a game, I guess. That was a good way to explain it.
So Padme is Sakura.
I'm just saying, like, characters that get called useless generally have their own strengths that aren't norms. Yeah. And so
like
people
Jar Jar.
will say, yes, like Jar Jar.
I was going to say...
no, I know what you mean. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm a dick.
I was going to say, like...
Man,
I like episode 3 the most.
It's cool.
I don't know why. I don't know, like, why. I think it's because of really that last lightsaber battle. Just because it is so fluid and great. The music. Oh God, the music. I also like episode 1, and I know people give me a lot of shit for that, too.
No, I think episode 1's fine.
Yeah, like, I feel like people are now, like, gonna hate on the prequels less because the sequels exist.
I watched the,
okay, but, like,
absolutely, it's already happened.
I don't hate the sequels at all. I enjoy them as movies.
It's the same thing as what happened with the prequels. It's the people who saw the first ones are going to be like, the prequels suck.
Well, I didn't grow up with the sequels, though.
Yeah, I can't imagine that in the future people won't appreciate the sequels. Like, it will happen, you know. People will go back and be like,
15,
the sequels weren't bad.
20 years probably, and people will be like, the sequels weren't that bad.
I'm so sorry for this podcast. It's just been me preaching about how women are fucking just talked down upon.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, Tangi?
I'm sorry, I'm such a feminist today.
Probably because she's a woman, am I right?
Alright, we should probably sign off before this gets too much longer.
Okay. Star Wars is bad and you shouldn't watch it.
Yeah, everything is trash.
Everything is garbage.
Either this will be one of our most liked podcasts or one of our most hated.
It's gonna be one of our most hated one, guys.
We're all garbage.
Yeah, don't forget to comment your favorite Star
Away
Wars.
from the sound recorder.
Don't forget to comment your favorite Star Wars movie in the comments.
We're just gonna fire him at this point.
Star Wars.
Don't forget to rate. That's an old YouTube thing. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell for more notifications.